So you meet someone, and for some reason, they just stand out. It's not just their looks or their sweet voices, there's something deeper pulling you towards them. But why is that? Why do we fall for some people and not others? Is it fate, chemistry, or is it something more predictable or something wired into our psychology? Today, I am breaking down the science behind attraction, why we fall in love with some certain people, what actually creates that spark, how much of it is really within our control. So, if you've ever wondered why you are drawn to some specific kinds of people, stick around. You're about to see attraction in a whole new way. One thing we know about attraction is that it's not something you just come across easily. It isn't random. It feels like magic, but it's actually a science. There are several psychological principles at play when it comes to attraction, and once you understand them, you start seeing the patterns in who you are drawn to and why. The first principle is the principle of the familiarity effect, the mere exposure effect. Have you ever noticed how people you spend more time around seem to become more attractive to you? That's not an accident. Research shows that the more we see someone, the more we tend to like them. It's called the mere exposure effect. This is why people often fall for co-workers, classmates, or even gym buddies. And this exposure creates comfort. This comfort also leads to what? Attraction. Second principle is the attachment styles and childhood influences. Whether we realize it or not, our early childhood experiences shape the kind of people we are drawn to. If you had a warm, supportive caregiver while growing up, you might be drawn to secure, emotionally available partners. If your childhood was unpredictable, you might unconsciously be attracted to people who create that same emotional roller coaster. Yes, because it feels similar and even unhealthy. Third principle is the role of the scent and genetics. That's the science of chemistry. This one's wild. Scientists have found that we are naturally drawn to people with different immune system genes that are different from ours. And why is that? Because biologically, that mix would produce stronger offspring. This is why sometimes attraction feels instant. It's happening on a biological level before our brain even registers it. All right, now let's talk about the things that actually trigger attraction and make us fall in love for someone. Number one, the halo effect. We naturally assume that people who are physically attractive also have great personalities. Whether that's true or not, this cognitive bias is called the halo effect, which means that physical looks can create an initial spark, but deeper connections depend on much more than that. Two, shared vulnerabilities. Have you noticed how people tend to fall in love on vacations, during life transitions, or after going through something intense together? That's because the vulnerability breeds intimacy. When we open up, we create emotional closeness, and that can turn into romantic attractions. That's why most times you get to talk to a friend. When you talk to this friend about what you're going through, you open up your mind, you say things the way they are, you just get attached to that individual. Before you know it, you begin to fall in love with such a person. And number three, similarities versus complementarity. Do opposite sex attract? The truth is, we are usually drawn to people who are similar to us in values and lifestyle. But here's where complementarity comes in. If someone balances out our strengths and weaknesses in a way that feels natural, that contrast can also create and trigger deep connections. And four, the role of timing. Some of you always ask, Ultima, is there anything like the right person, the wrong person, the right timing, and wrong timing? Of course, yes, and it's real. Studies show that our level of readiness for a relationship plays a huge role in who we allow into our lives, who we fall for, who we allow into our space. This is why sometimes some people seem perfect, but we don't just feel it because psychologically we are not in a place to be receptive to love. So, does this mean we can choose who we fall for? The answer is to some extent yes. While we can't control chemistry, we can influence attraction by where we spend our time, the people we allow ourselves to get close to, and even how we shape our own mindsets about relationship, even people we allow into our space. For example, if you want to attract emotionally available people, you need to create an environment where those types of people thrive by working on your own emotional availability. Attraction is one of the most powerful forces in our lives, but it's not as mysterious as it seems. The more we understand about why we are drawn to certain people, the more intentional we can be about our relationships. Now, I want to hear from you. What's the strongest factor you have noticed in your attractions? Is it shared experiences, personality traits, or something else entirely? Drop in the comments below and let's talk about it. So, if you found this video insightful, I'm also sure you will like this one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications for more psychology backed insight. I'll see you in my next one.